Next heading, you give a heading, food security. We will discuss this idea of food security. Just write a definition as per FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization. As per FAO, definition, inverted comma you can write, ensuring that all people at all times have both economic and physical access to basic food they need. Ensuring that all people at all times have both physical and economic access to basic food they need. Ensuring that all people at all times have both physical and economic access to basic food they need. So it does not merely imply elimination of hunger. Okay, so physical and economic access to the basic food they need. Okay, now indicators. Just write indicators. Indicators or food security or levels of food security. Indicators or levels of food security. First one you write starvation. Starvation. So when we discuss about indicators, first starvation. Discuss about starvation. We'll discuss about starvation. Sorry. Then we have hunger. That is at the second level. And then we will see malnutrition. In malnutrition, we will discuss about undernutrition and overnutrition. Okay, sorry. Okay. So these are at different stages. So first you write starvation. Starvation means chronic hunger. Chronic hunger. Chronic hunger means long term. Long term. So, or before that you can write hunger. Okay. So first hunger you can write. Hunger means distress associated with lack of intake of food. Hunger means distress associated with lack of intake of food. Hunger, starvation, malnutrition, and before that one more you can write undernutrition. Undernutrition is actually what is that? Calorie deficiency. First you write this one, hunger. So this is just related to the distress associated with intake of food, hunger. Next level we can write starvation, chronic hunger. That is a long-term hunger. Okay. So in terms of long-term we can discuss starvation. Undernutrition is related to calorie deficiency. It can be either due to inadequate intake of food. So intake may be less, so inadequate intake of food, or it can be due to suboptimal utilization of food by the body. You take food, intake is high, but the body is not capable of using it, right? Optimal use is not there because of some illness. The body is not able to, or the body is not capable of using the food which is consumed. So just write under this undernutrition or calorie deficiency, put a hyphen and write calorie deficiency either due to inadequate intake of food, or due to suboptimal utilization of food by the body due to illness. Suboptimal utilization of food by the body due to illness. Then you can write malnutrition. So when we discuss about malnutrition, two concepts will come here. One is undernutrition, okay, and then overnutrition. Okay, so here in this context maybe undernutrition is better. In this context we are talking about undernutrition because we are basically talking about hunger, starvation, undernutrition, etc. So here malnutrition means this. Overnutrition, that means this obesity, etc. also is part of malnutrition. Okay, so overnutrition is also part of malnutrition, but here we don't want to discuss that. But when we discuss about malnutrition, both undernutrition and overnutrition will come. But the context in which we are taking up this discussion, that is food security, this is not important here. Okay, but in malnutrition both will come. Now, next topic you can write under this. So these are the indicators, mainly hunger, starvation, undernutrition and malnutrition. Now, components of food security. Components of food security. First, physical availability of food.
Sir,
So,
undernutrition is only connected with calorie deficit.
okay, so next is components of food security. So here most important component is actually physical availability of food. Okay, so physical availability of food. Now, do you think we have a problem with shortage of food in India? Every year record food grain production is there. So actually we don't have any shortage of food. The problem is the poor people don't have the purchasing power. Right, this is actually the main problem. Poor people are, don't have money. So we have discussed this issue time and again, that their need will not create demand in the market. Why it will not create demand in the market? Because the purchasing power is not there for the poor people. Food is there, but the problem is purchasing power is not there for the poor people. Just write there physical availability of food. If you want in bracket you can write, we don't have shortage of food. We don't have shortage of food, but the problem is with the purchasing power of the poor people. Now, physical availability of food, under which what all things you can write? How to improve the physical availability of food? Obviously, production, increase the production. Okay, use of technology. So you can write all these remedies here if that is a problem. But we don't have problem, but still you can write all these things. Increase the production, use of technology, research and development to be promoted. Research and development. Okay, and then green revolution. So you can go for second green revolution. Okay, so MSP, again we discussed about the problem of MSP, but still we are giving a recommendation here, increase MSP. Once you increase MSP, you can solve the problem of food security, because the farmers will be motivated to produce more. Those grains which affect the food security will be available in supply. Okay, so we are discussing both in different contexts. That time we were talking about the disadvantages of subsidy, so I've told you MSP should be reduced, and crop diversification etc. was issue. So here you see we are talking about food security, so for that we need to increase MSP, so we need to motivate the farmers like that. Okay, and infrastructure development like cold storages, warehousing etc., irrigation facility. So all these you can write under physical availability, how to improve the physical availability of food. So basically we are talking about increase the production, or everything is connected to increasing production only. Second, how to see the main problem is not the availability, right? The problem is with the purchasing power. So how can you increase the purchasing power? One, you can give subsidy. So this is not actually a good option, but still we are going with this. To ensure food security, you have to give subsidy. So one option is subsidy. Second option is employment generation. See, again, first case we have discussed for increasing production, but production is not the big problem in India. Okay, in general I have told you these are the ways to increase production. The main problem is with purchasing power. So how to solve that? Employment generation, or you have to give subsidy. Better among this is obviously employment generation. Okay, so third point you can write adequate quantity and quality. Adequate quantity and quality to meet nutritional requirement. Adequate quantity and quality to meet nutritional requirement. Okay, so here we are talking about all nutritional requirement like protein, fats, everything. Okay, so here you can maybe in bracket you can write PDS coverage should increase the PDS coverage, high nutrient crops, etc. And also target the vulnerable section like through midday meal schemes, ICDS. Okay, so you can rationalize midday meal scheme, Anganwadis. ICDS means integrated child development scheme. We will discuss that later. Okay, so next point you can write availability on sustainable basis. Availability on sustainable basis. Availability on sustainable basis. So how to make it available? Buffer stock. So there you can write buffer stock. Okay, then organic farming. So when we talk about sustainability, we can talk about organic farming. Okay, so you can also discuss about crop rotation. See, these are open to you. Whatever knowledge you have, you can write here. Okay, so crop rotation. Okay, that means crop diversification. All these are good for sustainable agriculture. Okay, and then decrease resource use, like decrease the use of water, etc. Decrease resource use. Then one more point is there, that is cultural factors. Okay, so cultural factors. Then what is cultural practice here? What I mean by cultural factor? Here I am talking about availability of food as per culturally accepted norms. See, culturally accepted norms means non-veg may be available, but you may not be able to take it, right? You are not allowed to take it by the religion. So here also, this is also connected to food security. So make the food available which is related to cultural practice also, or cultural acceptance also. So write one more line over there, availability of food as per culturally accepted norms. Availability of food as per culturally accepted norms. I hope you understood this point. I mean to say, you may be a Brahmin and beef is available. So what is the point in having the food there? He cannot eat that. Okay, so that is also will affect a food security. Okay, now when we talk about status of food security, just write status of food security. So we have already discussed about this global hunger index. Okay, in the chapter of growth and development, this is there. So if you haven't discussed that, if you haven't watched that video, please watch that. It is actually uploaded, and I've also told you to go through that global hunger index, and that we have discussed under the chapter of growth and development. So here, if you want, you can add that. You can add the India's rank, etc. Okay, so 4 components are actually taken when it comes to global hunger index. It is actually developed by International Food Policy Research Institute, IFPRI. So it is developed by IFPRI, International Food Policy Research Institute, in 2006, based on 4 components. All those 4 components and everything we have already discussed. If you want, quickly I can go through that. Okay, so there are 4 components. Proportion of undernutrition population. Firstly, this 4 components, proportion of undernutrition population. Then one more component that is related to child stunting. Child stunting means, I'm not writing here. Okay, child stunting means what? A child stunting up to 5 years. Child stunting means low height to age. Okay, so 5 years is the age, but you don't have the height. That is child stunting. Okay, then child wasting. Child wasting. What is that? Low weight to height. You have more height but no weight. Okay, so child wasting. So actually India is the highest in this group. Okay, child wasting is very high in India. Then child mortality. So this you can see in detail in that discussion we have already done. So low, when we talk about low, the score is actually 0 to 10. Okay, so it will be ranked between 0 to 100. So low at this stage, low hunger. Then moderate, 10 to 20 is moderate. Okay, and then serious means 20 to 35 a serious category, and then 35 to 50 alarming category. Okay, alarming. And then extremely alarming if it is beyond 50. So based on these 4 parameters, what are they? The proportion of undernutrition. Undernutrition population based on the total population. So undernutrition, child stunting, child wasting, and child mortality. Based on this, you will make the score between 0 to 100. And if the score comes under this category, so what is the score of India? Score of India is 28.5. What does that mean? India comes under which category? India comes under serious category. Okay, so we have already discussed Millennium Development Goal, reduce hunger by half, and I've told you Sustainable Development Goal, the target is to 2030, right? You have to reduce it completely. So this is actually the status of food security in India. So this section is actually highest. Child wasting is very high in India. This is one of the most important problem in case of India. So just go through that video that is already uploaded in the chapter of growth and development, and in fact at that time also I have told you to go through that video only, so it will be more clear. I am just going through the details here. Undernutrition, child stunting, child wasting, child mortality, these are the 4 components taken. This in itself is actually a potential prelims question. Okay, global hunger index calculated on the basis of which indicators. So based on this, scores will be given, and India comes under this category. So 28.5. India may move to this category also. Okay, alarming category also. But we are expecting it should be reduced to, this category, right? By 2030. That is a target.